Today, I will show you a dark secret that surrounds the Cutie Mark Crusaders that went unnoticed by many My Little Pony fans. It's something that is present since the beginning of the series, but no one paid attention to. So, stick with me to the end of the video to uncover this truth. I'm telling you, it's worth it. Hey beautiful people, I'm Julie, and if there's something that bothers me in the Cutie Mark Crusaders is their relationship with their parents, or actually the lack of attention that they give to them. You see, the phase that the Crusaders were on, of fighting their cutie marks and such, is a parallel of what kids want to be when they grow up. So much that the ponies' cutie marks are the destiny that they fulfill for the rest of their lives. Just like us humans choose certain job to work on. The issue with the Crusaders is in their parents. The first big example is Sweetie Belle. In the episode Sisterhood Social from season 2, we met Rarity and Sweetie Belle's parents that are always traveling and need some time off, leaving the younger one with Rarity. Dude, I know that sometimes parents need some time off to cool their heads, but what did it cost to take their daughter with them? I mean, they don't look evil, but I believe that this episode showed people that they don't care about their daughters. I also think that they let Rarity take care of Sweetie Belle because they know that she is independent and has an income to sustain her sister, something that they themselves aren't capable of doing. But they forgot that the fashionist is a workaholic, and if she has little to no time for herself, what about for her sister? Besides all of that, Rarity managed to build a room for Sweetie Belle inside her boutique because she knows that her parents are irresponsible and worry-free about them. But there's a big but here. Rarity ends up being overloaded with all of that once she is a perfectionist and takes it hard over herself, while her sister only wants care and attention and sometimes helps her sister, like we saw in the episode For Whom the Sweetie Belle Tools. Luckily, we saw that they love each other a lot, even with some disturbances because of their different routines. I would say that their dynamic reflects a lot a real-life relationship between siblings, where love and frustration are shared equally. But what about when the parents aren't around anymore? How the situation's gonna play? I think you know which Crusader I'm talking about, right? Apple Bloom, Applejack's younger sister. I've already told you guys on my video How Did Applejack's Parents Die, that Lauren Foss, the creator of the show, told us that when they passed away, Apple Bloom was just a baby, but that she didn't know how exactly they died. But it wasn't always like that. Around 2011, when the series was still in the first season, it was revealed that the producers simply didn't think about Apple's parents. Like, what? Farms are well known for being family business, like the apples. But in this case, they simply left the founders of the farm out? That makes no sense to me, honestly. And if you also think that this is absurd, leave a like in the video. This way I know that I'm not alone on this one. Okay, now let's see how Apple Bloom's life goes as she barely met her parents. Even with Big Mac being the oldest sibling, Applejack was the one that took over the role of taking care of her sister, and that made her become overprotective with Apple Bloom, especially after their parents' deaths. I believe that she tried to give the best of the best to her sister, just like her parents did to her, but come on, it's a kid taking care of another one. Her parents have no guilt in this case, of course, and that left Applejack a big responsibility at such a young age. Like, I get it that Grandma Smith is an old lady with her clothes and all, but she could have assisted Applejack on taking care of the little one, right? Besides that, Apple Bloom for many times envied her classmates for having parents that took them to school, while the apples barely touched that matter because of the silly family conflict that we see in the perfect pair. And maybe she envied her own brother and sister for having memories of their parents, while she barely remembers their faces. But after watching the scene of the episode A Royal Problem, where we see Applejack dreaming about her parents, just notice that baby Apple Bloom appears more, while her parents appear kinda blurry, which shows that Applejack is starting to forget their faces after all those years. I don't know why the apples took no picture of themselves for their kids and grandchild to remember them, mainly their youngest that barely had no time to enjoy her parents. And if you cried watching the episode The Perfect Pair that tells the story of Applejack's parents, tell me which part made you cry. For me, it was the ending when Grandpa Pears go to apologize to the apples crying. Yes, I must confess I cry in this scene. But I think that the Crusader that suffered the most is by far Scootaloo. Since season 1, we see that Rainbow Dash take care of Scootaloo as if she was her sister, and they are in fact very close, mainly because Dash is an inspiring figure for her, increasing even more their affection. And because of that union that both have, many people thought that Scootaloo's parents had abandoned her or maybe died just like Apple Bloom's parents, and this would be the cause of her malformed wings. Dude, some people went further to say that Scootaloo was Fluttershy and Big Smack's daughter because they match colors with Scootaloo, and also because Fluttershy isn't an expert at flying, and that would have influenced Scootaloo and not flying until this day. It so happens that this theory fell apart in the episode The Last Crusade, where Scootaloo's parents simply decide to appear and take their daughter to adventures. Dude, they were alive all this time? They travel and hunted animals never seen before, and because of that, they were absent in Scootaloo's life. And she knew that. She was probably waiting for them to return someday, so they could have this reunion with her. But instead, these horrible parents left their own daughter to her aunts, and those two take care of Scootaloo like if she was their daughter. And because they are a couple, they must have felt that Scootaloo was really their daughter and gave all the love in the world for her. Something that covered the hole that her parents left after abandoning their own daughter. And I believe that this absence of the parents of the Crusaders had a negative impact on them. For example, Scootaloo, that because of the absence of her parents and the undeveloped wings, could have developed a major insecurity, even if she poses as confident externally. She saw herself in Rainbow Dash, a confident pony that excels at flight, while she wasn't famous and couldn't fly well. Apple Bloom was always the most impulsive of the group, and that's due to Applejack's overprotective posture that left her sick of it all the time, just like we saw in the episode Some Pony to Watch Over Me, and that made Apple Bloom act on her own, resulting in some dangerous situations. And of course there's Sweetie Belle, that showed to be stubborn and needy, what isn't completely her fault, since her parents never seemed to care about her daughter. For many times the sisters fought because of Sweetie Belle's actions that always tried to catch her sister's attention. This is the sad truth that the series secretly showed us, marked with complicated family matters, but that also added some depth to the characters, besides being a way for fans to relate with the characters as well, as just like everyone else, they have flaws, parents that don't care about them, and even dead relatives, but that still are remembered fondly. But hey, what do you think about these things I talked about the Crusaders? Did you already know about these details? Tell me which is your favorite Crusaders in the comments. Thank you a lot for watching this video till here, and hasta la vista!